Miss Martha and Miss Maria. So we have to wait
Um,
until all of them join, 25 of them.
no, carry on. It's 10 minutes. You've given them 10 minutes. Just carry on. The rest will come tomorrow. The opportunity has come for everyone. Um, you know, so just carry on. That's fine.
Okay, okay, Miss Martha, thank you for instructions. All right, so everyone, welcome to your first introduction class of IELTS exam. And my name is Shayan Baloch. You can call me Shayan, and I'll be your instructor for your IELTS exam. So, hello to everyone, and we have students from Nigeria and from Uganda. So, hello to everyone. I hope you all are having a beautiful, lovely day in your country.
Yes, thank you.
So, dear students, you all are requested whenever you join the class in the future, please kindly mute your microphones at the very beginning. However, if you want to turn on your videos, you are allowed to do that, but please not the microphones because when I will be giving a lecture, at that time I don't want any disturbance, and if I will get disturbed, then other students might also get disturbed. So we have to uh, take care of everyone. All right. And it will be better for our internet bandwidths as well, because do keep this thing in mind that if we do not turn off the microphone, so it will be taking a lot of internet bandwidth. Okay, so IGE Oswan has to ask a question. Yes, my dear, do you want to ask something? IGE? Okay, my dear student has dropped their hands. That's great. All right, so dear students, we'll be today talking about some introduction about the IELTS exam, that what we would be expecting, what we would be doing in our sessions, and so first things first, let's try to make this introduction class, a little bit interactive. And if you want to interact with me, you need to raise your hand that I can unmute and allow you to speak, and the rest will wait, and then we will give opportunity to the other students as well. Okay, can you hear me, everyone? Is it clear? Uh, okay, Vivian, I think there was a music playing, so I had to mute you. I'm really sorry, my dear. So please turn off the music and do focus on whatever I will say. All right, so everyone, let's get started. So, the exam that we'll be preparing, it's going to be IELTS, which is taken by the British government, by the Cambridge itself. And so don't get yourselves confused in what type of exam you will be preparing. So I'm telling you this thing that after my classes, when you will be doing your homework, when you will be doing a research on your own, so always type the right thing on the Google to do the research. So we will be preparing ourselves for IELTS General UKVI. UKVI. All right, it's going to be IELTS General UKVI. Now, now let's talk about the format, the pattern of all the sections that we will be studying. So, in the IELTS exam or in any language exam, okay, my dear Petra, I'm muting you as well. So please make sure that you are all on mute, that there is no distortion. So, continuing. So, the exam, IELTS exam or any other language exam, has four basic parts that we have to cover. Number one is going to be the reading. Number two is going to be the listening. Now, in reading, you all will be reading a piece of text. And after reading the piece of text, you will be analyzing the answers. You will be judging the answers, that what would be the right answer. And then there is a certain time given to you to transfer your answers to a piece of paper. That's how it works in the reading section of the IELTS exam. All right. Now let's talk about the listening part of the exam. Now, in the listening part of the exam, what we will be doing is that we will be listening a piece of audio, and then after listening to the piece of audio, we will be then transferring our answers, knowing on the best of our ability, to our answer sheets. All right. So the students who have just recently joined, I'm just going to repeat it really quickly. So today's conversation is going to be divided into two different parts. First, I will tell you about the basic things, and then we will dive more deeper into each of the sections of the IELTS exam. So now the first one, reading; number two, for listening; number three, for speaking; and the last one, for writing. So the third one, now let's come to the speaking. Now, lucky all of us that in speaking it's going to be similar for whatever exam we take, but we are talking about, I'm again going to repeat, IELTS General for UKVI. Okay, so now how does the speaking goes on? The speaking goes on one-to-one. You have to prepare for one-to-one speaking with a IELTS examiner or instructor who will be taking your exam. And that is what we will be doing in our sessions as well. We will try to speak with one-to-one, and the rest of students can judge that what mistakes the others are making. So now let's talk about the final part, the writing part. Now in the writing part of the IELTS exam, in the IELTS General UKVI exam, we again are going to be having two different tasks to cover. I will be telling you about the timings, but telling you about the timings will be more in detail. So that's the second part of our conversation today. And we will be having some question answers as well. So now in the writing part, we have two different tasks to cover. Now in the first task, we will be writing, it will be a situation given to us, and we will be writing a letter requesting information or explaining the situation. Now, this letter could be written into two different formats. Remember, I'm telling about task 1 in the writing section of the IELTS General Training for UKVI. So, in task number 1, we would be writing a letter for requesting some information or giving or explaining a situation. Now this letter could be written to whom? That's a question. Now this letter could be written towards, let's say, to a mayor of a city, to some family member, to a colleague, and so forth. It depends that what are they going to ask us to write, to whom actually. Continuing to that. Now that would be the first task. The second task would be that you would be asked to write an essay in response to a point of view, or argument, or a problem. And we can use fairly a personal style to write down that. We will be discussing that in the details whenever we are going to be having the writing format of the practice. Okay? Now, coming back to the speaking thing again. In the speaking, as I told you, that we will be having one-to-one conversation. Now, what to expect, what kind of conversation to expect, and what we will be doing. So, let me answer to that. So, in the speaking exam, in the speaking practice, we will be having 3 different sections to cover. 3 different sections. Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. And what will be in that? Now in Section 1, my dear students, we will be having a I again request to my dear participants to please kindly mute yourselves. Thank you. So my dear students, again a reminder. So this is the first introductory class. That's totally okay. That's totally fine. But the next time whenever you join, please make sure your microphones are muted. Thank you. However, if you want to turn on your videos for a better face-to-face interaction, you can. That's allowed. All right. So talking further about the speaking section of the IELTS exam. So in the first section, my dear students, we will be having a general conversation, a normal warm-up, I can say, okay? And in the warm-up, the examiner will be asking you a very easy set of questions. Questions, for example, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Tell us more about your city. Tell us about your family. How many siblings do you have? Very easy, basic questions. But they are making sure that the students will be preparing much nicer. For that, we will be doing some particular topics. Sometimes we will be talking about the clothes. Sometimes we will be talking about science. Sometimes we will be talking about how do we spend our vacations. And the questions will be regarding to that in part 1 of the speaking exam. I hope the part 1 is cleared. And don't you worry, in the end we will be having a question answer session as well, in which you can all ask your queries more in details. Now let's talk about the second part of the speaking. I will again repeat for the students who have joined recently. Right now we are discussing about the IELTS speaking module. So in speaking module, we have 3 different parts. Number 1 will be the basic question answer, warm-up question answers as we call them. Now I am going to explain you number 2 part. Now in number 2 part, my dear students, we will be having a small short conversation, a monologue. How it's going to look like and sound like. So continuing. In the part 2, there will be a main question, and this main question will be followed by 3 to 4 smaller questions. In the language of IELTS, they also call it a cue card section, all right? Now, let's keep this thing in mind, that what kind of question we will receive, and what do I mean if I say smaller questions? 4 smaller questions, 1 bigger question. So, for example, the main question can ask us that tell a person in your life who has influenced you a lot. Or it could be a question that tell us about a teacher that you liked a lot. That would be the main question. Now this main question will be followed by 4 different questions, the kind of information that you have to give. In these 4 questions, the questions would be that, for example, Ronnie, I just received your message. Ronnie, we will give you this information shortly, but however, we want you to just focus on whatever we are saying. But don't worry, we will get back to you about this question. Thank you. So, talking more about that. These 4 questions, these 4 smaller questions following to this main question, how they will sound like. Listen carefully. Number 1 question could be, where did you met with this teacher? Question 2 could be, what subject this teacher taught you? Question 3 could be that in which institute did you met with this teacher? And question 4 would be that how this teacher influenced you so much, or why did you liked this teacher so much? Now after asking these questions, so number 1 is the main question, and 4 the following questions. This will be asked by your examiner in one go. It's not going to be like if the teacher is asking the main question and you have to answer, the second question you have to answer, and the third question you have to answer. No. All of these questions will be asked in one single go. You will get a cue card. In that, all these questions will be mentioned already. Now, talking more further about that, you will be given, now let's talk about that, how will you prepare for so many questions in one go? That could be confusing. So for that, the rules say that you will be provided with 60 seconds. Hello, Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim, I'm muting you if you don't mind. Thank you. So, Mr. Ibrahim and all of the other students, we are speaking about the IELTS speaking module, and I'm explaining you that how the IELTS has divided the timing for us, the timing. So, dear students, you will be given 60 seconds to prepare for your answers. You will be given a pencil and a piece of paper in which you have to jot down the keywords, whatever comes in your mind. You have to actually prepare for the answers that you're going to give. 60 seconds, you will get 60 seconds. And then after 60 seconds, the examiner will ask you to stop. And then the examiner will give you 120 seconds to answer. 120 seconds are a lot to answer. But however, you will be ready by that time to answer. So 1 minute for preparation and 2 minutes to answer. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit more detailed about this. That how will you divide the time technically? Because do understand this thing, there is always a hack for everything, right? So we will talk about that as well. Now, talking a little bit more detailed about the writing section. How much time we will be given to perform the writing section. So my dear students, the writing test takes 60 minutes. 60 minutes. So about for the writing section, you have 60 whole minutes. So you have to spend the first 20 minutes in the task 1. And what was task 1? Writing a letter. Writing a letter. And for the task 2, because the task 2 is about writing a essay, so they give you a little bit more time for that. 40 minutes for writing an essay. So in total, we have 60 minutes for the writing task. Okay, 60 minutes for the writing task. Now, talking more about the listening section, because we did not spoke about the listening section. So the students who have joined right now, I'm again going to give you a little bit recap of whatever we have been speaking since the last 31 minutes. So dear students, I have been telling the other students who have come in the room before you, I have been telling them the entire test format of the IELTS General Training UKVI. IELTS General Training for UKVI. I have told my dear students who have joined before you about the speaking module, the writing module. We are left with 2 more modules, which are listening and reading. So join us right now. We will have a recap about the speaking and the writing as well in the end for your more understanding. Now let's talk about the listening. Now, my dear students, the listening takes about, let's say, 40 questions that we need to answer in the listening, and it takes around 30 minutes. It takes 30 minutes in this process, and you're allowed an extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your question booklets that you answer. Okay? Now let's talk from the very beginning that what to expect in the listening exam. Now, dear students, whether you are giving this exam online, whether you are giving this exam or you're giving this exam in real time, like going to the test center and then giving the exam, you will be provided with a pair of headsets, all right? And in these headsets, you will be listening some set of recordings. Again, this is the listening section of the IELTS exam is again divided into four different categories, four different parts. Okay. Now each part, why did they divide these four parts into four parts? Okay, the entire listening, because each part has its own difficulty level. The first one is very easy. The second one, somehow a little bit difficult. The third one, they increase the level of difficulty, and so for the fourth one as well. Now, what to expect in the first recording, in the first section, like what kind of recording you will be listening and what do you have to do. So, a conversation between two people set in an everyday social context. You will listen a conversation between two people in the very first recording, and this will be very easy. Excuse me for that, sorry. So, for example, I will be making a telephone call to the railway station, or to the cinema, or to an airport, or to let's say, a hotel. So, my dear students, a reminder for all of you, this class will end in 10 minutes and you will be provided another link in which we will continue the class for 20 more minutes, so 60 minutes in total. Okay, so you might be getting a reminder that we have only left with 10 minutes, so don't you worry, you will receive another link. So we request you to join again after 10 minutes with the new link. I hope it's clear. Now let's continue with our previous lecture. So in this phone call, what will happen that, for example, let's say that I will be making a phone call to the airport staff, because I want to book a ticket. So I will be asking that, hello, and over there a guy or girl will pick up my call and they will also say hello. And we will exchange some piece of information between each other. Maybe I have lost something, and that's why I'm calling them, that hey, I have lost something at the airport, and they will be assisting me that how they can help me. Maybe I want to book a plane ticket, and then as per that they will be assisting me as per that. Okay? And then and then moving further to that, and then in the end you will be given some time to transfer your answers, whatever you heard, in a piece of paper. You will be having a booklet in front of you where the choose the correct answer format, the MCQ options will be given in front of you. You have to choose the correct answer whenever you listen the recording. Now you might have a question that, Cheyenne, when we will be ticking or encircling our answers as we will be listening the recording, what do you mean by transferring our answers in the end of another paper? So yes, dear students, they will give you another answer sheet where you will be writing the answers. So basically there will be two places you will be writing the answers. Number one will be the booklet where all the MCQs will be mentioned. You will be encircling the right answer. And the second will be the answer sheet where you'll be transferring those answers as well. So you have to do that simultaneously together. Now talking about the second type of recording that you will listen. The second type of recording. Remember, number one was conversation between two people. Now the second one. The monologue set an everyday social context. Let's say a speech about local facilities. So in this, the level of difficulty will be a little bit more higher. How? Let's say they will increase their vocabulary. They will speak in more of a British accent, because don't you forget, this is a British exam. This is an exam conducted by a British organization from England. All right? So, and then they might increase a little bit of the speaking speed. For example, in the speed I am speaking right now, it's more understandable and it's very slow. But if I try to speak a little bit faster with you, so it will be difficult for you to understand. Now, just like I spoke right now a little bit faster, that is kind of a difficulty that you can expect in this recording number 2, recording number 3, and recording number 4. But they are not that fast. I think I was a little bit too fast. So, so talking about the third recording, the third one. Again, a third recording will be a conversation between up to 4 people in an educational or training context. For example, a university tutor and students discussing an assignment. Now this is the third level of difficulty, the third recording in the listening exam, okay? Where this might be in a classroom, in a courtroom, or anywhere where there are up to 4 people discussing about a common interest. They might be discussing, if this recording is recorded, let's say in an educational institute. For example, let's say a classroom of students and a teacher. Student teacher will be explaining something, and students will be asking some cross questions from the teacher. Just the way you will be asking me questions after some time. Okay? That's how it's going to work like. Now talking about the fourth one, the final difficulty level. It's going to be a monologue on an academic subject, for example, a university lecture. So this will be a lecture by, let's say, a university professor, a school teacher, or someone like that. So you have to listen. You have to listen for the entire recording, the lecture. For example, dear students, so it has been almost, let's say, around 40 minutes that we have been speaking with each other, all right? And if I ask you that whatever I have spoke for 40 minutes, you have to, and then I will give you a kind of a test paper in which all the things that I have spoken with you right now are mentioned. But you will be given choices to confuse you. So in the end, I will take your exam that now students choose the right answer, tick the right answers, the things I've been speaking since last 40 minutes. Like that. The fourth recording will be exactly like that. But don't worry, it's not going to be for 40 minutes long, okay? I hope it's clear. And now what will be the time? I'm again gonna repeat. The timing will be about 30 minutes. This entire process is going to take for 30 minutes, and you will be allowed an extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your booklets, to your answer sheets. But I always, I'm again going to emphasize, I am always encouraging my students that transfer your answers immediately, because you always get enough time to actually transfer your answers to the test papers. After each recording, you're getting enough time to transfer your answers in your book answer booklets. We will try to see how the format looks like as well. Okay, so dear student, we are pretty much cleared about the speaking, about the listening, and about the writing as well. And now you might be asking that, sir, what about the reading? So about the reading, I will be sending you another link. And one thing more, that these all tests, speaking, listening, writing, and reading, they all take place on a single day. It could that they can take place all in on one day, or usually depending upon your location, wherever you are giving the exam. So they can have the speaking exam on another day and the rest 3 on one day, or they divide as per that, depending on your location and the services that you're taking. Okay, so that's how it works like. So I request Miss Maria and Miss Martha that I will be sending you another link right now. Okay, Miss Maria?
Okay, no worries. We look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Maria, send it to the group.
Yes.
I won't be
Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
no problem.
no problem.
Maria?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So students, your instructors, Miss Maria, will be sending you another link. Please join that immediately as soon as I send. Thank you. See you in the next one. All right, dear participants. So in the previous session, we were speaking about the IELTS General UKVI test format. What are the things that we would be expecting throughout the test in different parts, in the different sections, and how much time will we be allowed? All right. Now we are left with the last section to discuss. Okay, so I hope everyone has joined, but there are still a couple of them who are still waiting. So we will be waiting for them to join, but I will start. So now, dear students, the last reading part, and what to expect and what to do in this reading part. So now what we have to do that in the reading part, you will be again given a text to read through. Now this text can be from, let's say, some extracts, some short cutting from books, from magazines, newspapers, notices, advertisements, companies' handbooks, and guidelines. So these are the materials you're likely to encounter on the daily basis in an English speaking environment. Okay, so these are usually the things that you might encounter, and I'm pretty sure that all of you know that what is a newspaper, advertisement, notices, magazines, company handbooks, and some guideline handbooks. So don't worry, you don't have to remember all of these things, okay? You just need to have the right skill, the right practice to skim through the text, read through the text, and be able to solve the questions that they will provide you. So, dear students, again, you will be given time 60 minutes. This entire exercise will be for 60 minutes, the reading itself for 60 minutes, including the transfer time as well. Now, it's highly recommended that whatever the answers you are looking for, transfer the answers immediately. Do not wait for the time to come to transfer. Do it immediately. Okay? So, how many number of questions we are expecting here? 40. 40 questions in the reading part of the IELTS General for UKVI. We are expecting 40 questions. Now, what could be the types of the questions? Okay? Now, for example, we would be having some filling the gaps in the passages of a written text or in a table. So there might be some types of questions where there's some little amount of text is given to you and some words are missing. Now, and then you have to fill these words. Now you would say, you might have a question that, teacher, how will we know that what words to fill in this passage? So dear students, you will be reading the text, okay? And then the text would be given you in the questions. So over there you have to fill those words. Now it cannot match 100% same, okay? But you have to write down the words best to your knowledge. And the second would be matching headings to a written text or diagrams or charts. So there would be some headings given. There would be some heading given, and there will be some text, some charts or some diagrams, and you have to match them by drawing a line, or maybe writing that this is from this is from this is resembling to them, this is resembling to that, like one to one. Okay? And the third one would be that complete the sentences. There will be some half complete sentences. You have to complete the sentence best to your knowledge, that you know which are best to your knowledge. And the last one will be that give short answers to open questions, okay? Or answer multiple choice questions. So you would be facing all of these questions in the reading part. Now please, dear students, don't worry. You might think that, oh my god, 40 questions to answer. So it's not a heck of a big deal, because for example, let me make it much easier for you to understand. Let's say today you have read a newspaper, okay? Many of you didn't, but just for an example, we know what's a newspaper, right? So, uh, in newspaper, there is an article. There is an article, for example, about technology. Okay, for the students from Nigeria and Uganda, for both of you, this article is a very common article, and it's about the technology, and it's about, let's say, that investing in a new company who is coming up with new mobile phones. Now, in this text, in this article on the newspaper, they will be discussing that which companies are interested to invest, what kind of mobile phone are we expecting in the future technology, and what will be the advantages, the disadvantages, the pros and the cons, and how it will impact everyone's day-to-day life, and how these smartphones could be different from the one we have today. Now, this would be a huge amount of text written. Okay. Now, based on this text, my dear students, based on this news article, an example I'm giving you, you have to answer 40 different questions. Now, again, these 40 different questions are going to be divided into the format that I just told you right now. Let's say a written table, headings to match with the diagrams over the charts, complete the half given sentences, or let's say choose a multiple choice questions. Okay, so this was the entire format of the test of the IELTS General for UK VI, for UK visa, that we will be focusing on. So now we will start the question answer session, and now I will ask each student to raise your hand for your question, and the others who will be waiting, so you are requested to please wait for your turn. So Miss Maria, you can unmute and you can also coordinate with me in this exercise.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to do that.
Lovely. So my dear students, there is an option in your settings that you can raise a hand. So you can raise a hand.
Who wants to go first? Raise your hand so that you can ask all the questions you've been asking me. Thank you. If you're on the platform, do ask so that you have all the clarity you need. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, our facilitator and Madame Maria. One of the questions I have is, as an experienced person, can you help us to guide us through the two options? That is the on-site, where we go to a particular examination center, and the online setting, because we need to be guided. And maybe Madame Maria can also add on whether, like for us in Uganda, what are some of these centers are we looking at, and what are the advantages of doing it online or booking to do it on site. I think that's very important for us as well.
Thank you so much.
Maria,
Yes, Miss Martha.
Can I answer just a bit of that question before I leave? For the session where you are going in Uganda is at the High Commission. Jackie should be on this line, and Jackie is going to give you the address where you'll be going in Uganda. So we already have the details, and I think somebody actually sent them once on the champions, or am I mistaken? But Jacqueline will be helping you. Yeah. Jacqueline will be leading you to the British High Commission. She'll give you the address. Everything will be very, very familiar. So Cheyenne, you can take over and tell us the disadvantage of one and the other. Nigeria, you have to find the British High Commission as well in Nigeria, but we can find that information for you.
I'll send the link.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Maria and Miss Martha, for participating and answering to the question of the student. So, okay, it was Mr. Henry. I guess, yes, it was Mr. Henry. So, Ronnie and Kiemba, please wait for your turn. So, let me answer as per my expertise to Mr. Henry. So, Mr. Henry, first of all, thank you so much for asking a question. This really tells that the session is interactive and the students are listening very carefully, that they are concerned about their questions. Very good. So, Mr. Henry, best to my knowledge, I think Miss Martha and Miss Maria guided you very well. The most authentic resource would be the High Commission or the Embassy. High Commission or Embassy are the very good resource that they can tell you that what would be the better testing facility provider in your respective country, whether Nigeria or whether Uganda. Okay, and the second thing, the pros and cons of giving online or in real time by going oneself to a test center. Very good question. So, look, one thing is really clear, that since this COVID-19 has occurred in the world, so most of the things have turned from in face-to-face or in person to online. So depending on the location that you are at the moment, and depending the situation over there regarding to the COVID-19, so best to my knowledge, you need to follow those SOPs as well. And let's not forget that you'll be saving your fuel as well if you're going to be giving online instead of going to that real location. And now, speaking technically, that what are the technical, let's say, advantages that you can get is that let's say maybe you are better at typing on a keyboard instead of writing it down. So definitely you have that advantage as well. And however, I kind of recommend to my students better to go in person. At least at that moment you have a opportunity to ask about a difficulty from the facilitators who are present at the moment at the testing facility wherever you are giving tests. But however, if you're confident about all the instructions, the rules and regulations, so you can definitely go with the online as well. But I would again say that sometimes students have this question and confusion that, hey, is the online gonna be much easier than the in-person one? So there's nothing like that. Both are going to be same as they should be. It all depends on your preparation and your interest. If you are prepared, whether giving online or whether giving in person, that doesn't matter for you about the easiness and about the difficulty. Okay, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Henry. You're welcome. So now, Ronnie, you can unmute and ask the question. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Cheyenne, our facilitator and our coordinators for this session. Apologies, I'm on the road. My background may not be very good, but I'll make my question quite snappy, so you don't have to.
Okay, Ronnie, my dear student, my dear lovely student, Ronnie, I think there is there is a little bit. Okay, so
Deal with the pain of my.
I think I'll suggest that he puts it in the
at length.
Yes, actually. Actually, I've been asking. So, Ronnie, my lovely friend, I have to unfortunately ask you to please mute, and you can ask the question again. I am writing your name, Ronnie. Ronnie needs to ask a question. So, even if you forget, I will remember in the next class or whenever you're having a stable connection that Ronnie wanted to ask a question, but he was having an unstable internet connection. So don't worry, Ronnie, we will get back to you. So whenever you are having a stable internet connection. So let's head to another student, Kiemba. I'm really sorry, Kiemba, if I'm pronouncing your name right or wrong. So first, if you help me to pronounce your name right, I'll be thankful. Yes, go on with your question.
Thank you very much. Actually, the name is Kiemba.
Okay, Kiemba. Okay.
Thank you, actually, Facilitator. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maria, plus the team. We are seeing where we are going. Basically, I have two questions. Number one, for those ones who will be considered online, how long will the course take to the exams? That is one. Then number two, what will be the, shall we have exactly time, as in, let's say we are having our lecture at maybe at 9, such that we should have a clear program. You know, we also have some other activity we are trying to pursue, such that we should earn a living. Thank you.
Okay, Kiemba, thank you so much. Regarding to your first question about that, I think if I have not heard it wrong, you were asking about the cost, that how does the cost varies if you're giving in person or online, and your second question is about the timings. So regarding to cost, best to my knowledge, Kiemba, it depends on, again, on your location, that where you are applying for the exam, and what how much money is the facilitators or the examiners or that particular organization in your country charging you. However, Miss Maria and Miss Martha can put a better light on that later on. Your second question, confusion about the timing. So, Miss Kiemba, we are really sorry for a little bit inconvenience that you faced from our side. Let's say that it was a first session, and we had to manage a lot of students, and there was a little bit problem, because let's not forget that we all are from different time zones. So yes, I'm from Pakistan. Hello from Pakistan, and the rest of other students, other lovely friends, are from different countries respective to that. So yes, I hope this is not going to happen in the next class. So yes, Mr. Kiemba, you can lower your hand, and I guess I have answered you nicely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, can I come in regarding the cost? I send it on the Champion WhatsApp for Uganda. It's very clear how much you need to pay. It's on the Champion WhatsApp group. So I would suggest that you look at that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so dear students, is there anyone else who would like to ask a question? Oh, Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim. Hello. Yes.
Hello. Maria has just said that she sent the amount of money that we're supposed to pay for the placements, but I wish you could resend it, and then, you know, we can get to know.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that. I'll resend. Yeah, I'll do that.
And then the other thing is the placements. Like Chiemba has just said, or was it Chiemba or someone else? The locations. When you say it depends on your location, like I'm in Uganda, and you said I have to go to the British High Commission, right? And you aren't clear about that. I'm requesting, actually, you can be more clear about that. And then another thing, like for a Ugandan who doesn't have a degree, should he go for a placement, or should he or she go for a placement, or they can use a certificate for O level or A level? Thank you. That's all I was asking.
Can I just say that for Ugandans, as Maria sends you the information, I think you have one place that you go to, I think in Chira, then the other one is in Gulu, somewhere in North Uganda. So they've put 2 centers for you. I don't think you are allowed to do any online IELTS training, test or examination. Everything has to be in person. You pay 1,140,000. It's about 1,200,000 for the test. And that is why we made a decision to get a tutor, so that when you go, you pass it first time. Unlike other people who go back and forth and they spend more money doing the test because they don't have any support. So I think that is some of the questions that have been answered there. So as Maria sent you the information, the IELTS test in Uganda is only done in person. It is done in Chira, if I'm not mistaken, and the northern part of Uganda. Then secondly is 1,114,000, or about, let's say 1,200,000 per test. And I think that is one of the questions. The other one about the diploma, or I think Shayan, you can share that information with them.
Thank you so much, Miss Martha and Miss Maria, for participating. Mr. Ibrahim, first of all, thank you so much for your kind question. Regarding to the certification that you're asking, can you please add a little bit more detail that I can answer you much better? Hello, Mr. Ibrahim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, so Mr. Ibrahim,
Can you hear?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you please ask your question again regarding to the A levels and O level certification or something like that you were asking?
Yeah, like in Uganda, we have O level and A level, then degree. So if at all I have an O level and I passed English, and then I have an A level and I passed all of them, but I don't have a degree, should I still go for a placement, or I still need a degree to go for the placement?
Very good question, Mr. Ibrahim. Very good question. Let's say at the first time that depends on your employer, whoever is employing you in their respective country, whether it's United Kingdom or etc. Okay, so you need to ask your employer that what are their requirements actually for hiring you or for the placement. However, A levels and O levels are considered as the high schools in our country, and this is the least certification that you should have to go for a university or for a diploma, right? So yet again, I would suggest you better ask from your employer or regarding to the post that you will be applying for in the foreign country, what is their requirement? Because I don't want to guide you wrong and then you will be left with no information, not exact information. So better to read their requirements. Because
Okay.
do remember one thing, Miss Maria, I'm really sorry, just the last thing. Uh, do remember this thing? Do you remember this thing? That we will be only talking about the IELTS and the requirement for the IELTS. IELTS, what is the requirement for IELTS? Who wants that? Number one, your visa. Your visa. It's really important for that. Okay. Number two, your employer. Your employer that tells the visa officer, the visa office, and the employer that what is your current level of speaking English skills, writing skills, listening skills, and reading skills. So I'm pretty clear. I think I'm pretty clear, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah, thank you. You've actually made it
Thank you.
clear. Anybody who wants to come to the UK, they will be required to do the English test. You will be required. It's a requirement. It's part of the visa requirement. Exactly what you said. Thank you for clarifying that. Unless you have a
Thank you
degree,
very
then
much.
you go a different route, which will be the ECCITS. So that's
And
what
Maria,
you will need.
and Maria, that's not every degree. So even if you have a degree, if the ECCTS does not validate that degree, you pay £140 and you still have to pay for the IELTS again for you to complete it.
That's
Because
correct.
not every degree is acceptable by the UK.
I would
Yeah.
like, yes, thank you so much, Miss Maria and Miss Martha. And there's information that I would like to add here as well. Usually, if you have a degree, if you have a diploma, so what happens that your education institute from wherever you have done a degree, a university, a bachelor's or a diploma, they usually provide you with a certificate, an English proficiency certificate, but in just like Miss Maria and Miss Martha added that not every organization accepts that a certificate or proficiency letter, whatever you show them, because don't forget, this is a requirement of the visa, for the visa. And the first priority to the visa, the second priority to the employer. So in either situations, better to be at the safe side and go for the IELTS examination. So yes, now I will give floor to Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry, did you have another question? Mr. Ibrahim, first of all, I hope it's clear now. Thank you.
I had another question. Can you get me?
Please, please, sure.
Yes. I was asking Maria or Martha when like the tests are going to begin and when should we go to the British High Commission for the tests? That's my last question. When they are going to begin the requirements and when we should go for.
Okay, I'll answer you. So, like I said earlier on, someone asked me, it depends when you are ready. If you are ready to do the exam, you can book the test yourself and go and sit it. It depends with you, the individual. If you are prepared enough to sit the exam, go for it without support from us. So it's entirely up to you. Because you are the only person who knows when you are prepared.
Yeah. But I advise that Cheyenne will be supporting you. As Cheyenne supports you, he will be also leading you. He feels that, okay, now you're ready. You have 10 sessions as part of the gap care. Please take advantage of them. There is no hurry. There is no point of going and then, you end up with not such a great answer. So I suggest, please, everybody, make yourself available. Do your 10 sessions. Go in when you know what you're going for. Than to get there and then you have to return to do your sessions and then you lose money twice.
Absolutely.
That's my advice.
Absolutely. I think I have to second with Miss Martha and Miss Maria, whatever information they're providing you. Okay, so dear students, we are left with the last 10 minutes of our session. And now I can see a couple of questions being asked in the other chat as well. It's regarding to when is the test and what is the payment mode. So regarding the first question, when is the test? I will again quote Miss Martha and Miss Maria. That it depends on you when you are ready to give the test. And when is the test in your country, at your location, that you will get to know. Definitely the most reliable resource, as Miss Martha and Miss Maria told you before, from the Higher Commission. And you can ask more into details from them later on. And then the last question, the payment mode, it's from Mr. Henry Mukisa. So Mr. Henry, yet again, this is a question that I will recommend you better to ask from Miss Maria and Miss Martha in private, because we have to somehow respect each other's privacy as well. So yes. Okay, so we have Mr. George as well saying thank you, Mr. Cheyenne. Thank you so much, everyone. Mr. George as well. So yes, last 7 minutes. Any questions, my dear students? Vivian. Yes, Vivian, you can unmute and ask a question. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you.
All right. I have a question. It's about when you have a degree. Let me say I have a degree in accounting. So am I supposed to go for that test? And another question is when I have that degree, how do they verify it? And how much is the money?
Okay.
Those are the questions.
Okay, Vivian, thank you so much. I will lower your hand and you can mute yourself. So Miss Maria and Miss Martha, would you like to put some light on our sister's question?
Yeah, I'll answer that. So what you need to do is, we talked about the ECCITS. So this is the board which verifies everybody's qualification. They will be asking you to send your transcript to them from your university. So there's a section you would fill in, and they'll ask you, you just follow the steps on their website, and they'll ask you all the relevant questions. If they are happy with it, they will ask you to send the relevant documents, and they'll verify your degree. But there is a payment of £140. So that is the cost. And they said it's entirely up to you. If you want us to be the third party, you need to include us. That meaning that if you are not able to pay using a Visa, because you're expected to use a Visa or Maestro card, these are debit cards. So if you don't have that facility, you need to speak to us out of this session so that we can use our card. Then you pay us in your currency. Yeah, so it all depends with what you want. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes.
Vivian?
Thank you.
Is it Vivian? Have I answered?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Thank you. And okay, yes, you've answered me. Only one question. Only one. Like, when do we need to do that?
You do it
During
anytime.
This time?
Yeah, you can do it now, because remember,
Alright.
we don't know whether your qualification, your English proficiency will be accepted through your degree. It's only when you send it to them, that's when you're going to know whether that's enough for you to actually use for your visa, or you actually need to start doing the IELTS. So you need to do that, because we don't know. We can't verify your degree.
Okay,
Thank
just
you.
okay. Thank you so much, Miss Maria.
So I'll send the links. Sorry, I did send the link. I hope you've seen it in the chat. It's now 3 days it's been on the link. But if you want me to send it again today, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Maria, for answering Vivian's question. Dear Vivian, I hope you're clear. So, dear students, we are left with a short amount of time. So, I'm just going to give floor to Mr. Charles Ziva. Mr. Henry, I would ask you to please wait. Mr. Charles need to ask something. Yes, Mr. Charles, you can. Yes, Mr. Charles. Okay, I'm afraid we cannot hear you, Mr. Charles. You can ask the question later on. I am writing down your name, that there was a little bit unstable connection from your side, so you can answer later. Don't worry, Charles, I remember you. I will ask you to ask the question again. So, Mr. Henry, if you can make it a little bit quicker, so I will appreciate.
Oh, thank you, Shian. I think I'm pronouncing it better.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you for the session and our coordinators. I just to ask our coordinators, because when we say not every degree, I'm just putting it to them to help us just as gap care, so that we can just have a picture before we even, do the verification. I don't know how they can do it so that participants can actually be alert, either to focus on the English test than, going into the verification, because at least being in the UK and knowing probably what they are looking at, it will guide the participants. I have a degree, but I'm giving myself to do the English test. And I believe maybe at some point our participants needs also to understand these dynamics. I'm looking at availing more information. What kind of degree what kind of degree weighs and can go through the filter, if I may say, something like that. But I believe Miss Maria and Martha can dig maybe into this and avail more information.
Thank you.
But thank you for
Yes,
the
thank you.
session.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
answer that just quickly. Unfortunately, because the way it's done, I've called them, I've spoken to them several times. They would not, we cannot verify, we can't give no answers. It's left for the department to deal with any degree, not us. We would love to do that for you. I tried, but it's not in our hands. They want to verify it themselves. They don't give all the details. They just ask us to ask you to send your degree to them and follow what they are asking for. Sorry about that.
Okay.
It's not in our hands.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Henry and Miss Maria. So, Miss Maria and Miss Martha, thank you so much for this session today, and thank you so much to all my dear students. And we will see each other very soon. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you to you as well. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time to come in this morning whilst you've got a busy schedule. I know you are all doing other things, so we really appreciate. So see you again tomorrow, and have a good day.
Good
weekend.
Yes, good weekend to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.